Good morning, everyone. When I was little, I used to love playing checkers. I'm sure you all know the board game I'm talking about, and I'm sure you all know how to play it. It's a simple game, but it's a fun one. The pieces move simply, and it's very satisfying when you jump your opponent's piece. And the best feeling of all in checkers, of course, is when you get to the other side of the board and say, "King me." And now your checkers piece can move 2 places instead of 1. Now, checkers is a fun game for kids, and it only requires a certain level of ability. So we have checkers on one level, but we can go up another level to a game called chess. Now, chess is much more complicated than checkers, and even after you learn how to play chess, there are strategies and theories that people can spend their entire lives learning and mastering. Now, I have a confession to make. I never truly learned how to play chess. I maybe tried a handful of times, but after losing and realizing how complicated chess can be, I said, forget it. I never took the time to change levels from checkers to chess. Chess requires a deeper understanding. Chess requires a higher level of ability. And out of my own ignorance, I never pushed myself beyond checkers. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm up here talking about chess and checkers. Allow me to explain. Almost everyone on earth will spend their entire life playing checkers. What do I mean? We focus our time and attention on simplistic pursuits. We place our hope and faith in things that are unworthy. Many of us obsess over sports. We place our hope and faith in our favorite teams, and our happiness rises and falls with wins and losses. We will follow athletes until we know every detail of their lives, even though we will probably never meet them. Okay, so sports is one checkers level obsession, and another checkers level focus in life that many people have is, of course, politics. We obsess over politicians. We idolize certain ones. We demonize other ones. Our joy rises and falls with political elections. We place our hope and faith in politicians. We idolize people we will never meet. Checkers, checkers, checkers. Now, there is a different level to life. There is a spiritual level that most people never even tried to get to. They might try a little bit here and there, like I did with chess, but one unanswered question or one area of confusion, and they scrap it and go back to playing checkers with their sports and politics. But while we will probably never meet our favorite athletes or politicians, we will all one day meet and stand before Jesus Christ. And how will we feel meeting him if we've spent our entire life playing checkers? In today's gospel passage, we learn a very important lesson about where we should place our hope and faith. Our happiness, our well-being in life, should not rise and fall with sports and politics. It should sit securely with Jesus Christ. When we place our hope and faith in Jesus Christ, we have peace. When people place their hope and faith with sports teams and political parties, we get arguments and division. I remember growing up as a Sacramento Kings fan, and in those days the Kings had a heated rivalry with the Los Angeles Lakers. So whenever I would come across a Lakers fan, I would feel immediate animosity. And sadly today, the political climate is much like a heated sports rivalry. The mere realization that someone might be of the other political party breeds animosity. There cannot be peace in a world with animosity. But there can be peace in a world with Jesus Christ. Today, Christ performs several miracles for two people who both place their hope and faith in Him. And while His miracles appear at first to be for physical healings, they are more importantly healings that bring spiritual peace. Jesus healed the woman with the issue of blood, but the healing of her body was not the only healing that took place. When Jesus said to her, "Go in peace," another kind of healing occurred. The healing gift of peace was granted. Think of the life this poor woman must have had, suffering for so long from her disease and from its social stigma. How much ridicule she must have endured, so many scars and so much pain. She could not even leave her house. She could not go out in public. She was unclean like a leper. She struggled daily simply to survive. And so it was very bold of her to reach out and touch Christ as He was passing by in front of an entire crowd. It was so bold that Christ even stopped everything to ask, "Who touched me?" A huge crowd was pressing on Him from all around, but He indeed noticed the one touch from the woman because she truly needed Him. He sensed her hope and faith, and she was rewarded. We are so distracted these days that we can often miss the bigger opportunity in life. Imagine if we take the same focus, the same unending attention that we place in sports and politics, and place them on God and Jesus Christ. How much more peace there would be in the world. How much more spiritual healing. Now, many people might hear this sermon and probably find the idea of placing all hope and faith in God and Jesus Christ a little ridiculous. Moreover, most people seem to think that even believing in God and Jesus Christ is laughable, yet they cling to their precious sports teams and political candidates. Yes, unfortunately, many people seem to laugh at Christians these days. But I'd like to point out that even the people in today's gospel passage laughed at Christ Himself. Christ comes to Jairus' house, where many sad people are gathered around. And Christ comes to Jairus' house, where many sad people are gathered around Jairus' daughter. And Christ says to them, "Do not weep, for she is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at Him, knowing that she was dead. But taking her by the hand, He called, saying, "Child, arise." And her spirit returned, and she got up at once. So we see that even sad people, even people in need of healing, will laugh at Christ when He is offering them healing. But fortunately for the people in today's gospel passage, Christ ignores their laughter and awakes the girl, granting peace and relief to everyone present. So let the others laugh, thinking they have it figured out in their world of checkers. And remember, as author C.S. Lewis says, human history is the long, terrible story of man trying to find something other than God to make him happy. I think we would all agree that this year has been enough. Between all the natural disasters, the virus, and current political tensions, I think it is obvious that we should start placing our hope and faith where they really belong, in God and Jesus Christ. Whereas hope in anything else leads to division and animosity, Hope in Jesus Christ brings peace and unity. Amen.